Girl, it's what I heard. Allegedly, it's just the word. Allegedly, it's on the street. Allegedly, I sing to the beat. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly.
I guess we'll start with in-debt news. Kim and Croy Bierman face another lawsuit after allegedly defaulting on a $300,000 home equity loan. How many mortgages did they take out on this place? I mean, they need to just go on and be bankrupt at this point. They opened this line of credit for $300,000 in 2013 when they were still making money. Why would you need $300,000 when your show was on the air? You've pissed away Croy's retirement. They were supposed to start making payments in 2016, made a modification in 2017, which extended payment due until 2018. Then they filed a second modification agreement, agreeing to make monthly payments of $1,100 after acknowledging they still owed $250,000. They were supposed to make their first payment in February 2018, and completion of the payments would be 2038. So they've been piss poor with their finances for decades now. Because the pair defaulted under the terms of agreement, the bank terminated the line of credit in May 2023, and as of April 1st, the bank said the Biermans owe $213,000 plus $1,700 in interest, and they have yet to respond to the lawsuit. And in addition to the foreclosure frenzy, Amex wants their $215,000 as well. So according to my calculations, they're $1.1 million in tax debt, $250,000 in debt on the house, and another $250,000 in debt to Amex. So that's about $1.6 million, and then they owe $300,000 or $30,000. And then they also have some gambling debts that are around $300,000 too. So they're a cool $2 million in the red. Larsa Pippen has been traumatized by Michael Jordan's comment about her relationship with his son Marcus. Well, I mean, did you think he was going to appreciate this publicity stunt by an old hoe? I hate to say it, but this will play out beautifully on Housewives of Miami. I mean, he didn't cuss Larsa out. They just asked, do you approve? And he said no. No. A firm, resounding no. You might lose your trust. No. But I mean, having raised your son, around those type of skeezers, I'm sure as a father he's disappointed that he didn't teach his son any better. In Will They Talk About the Lesbonics news, Housewives of Beverly Hills cameras are picking up yet again to capture Kyle and Mauricio's separere. But unless they're going to talk about, other partners and them just staying together for the business, they could save that for the show. Although, I guess because Kyle was probably faking the funk all season, they want to make it look real. We don't want another Rob Dixon on our hands. Incomplete storylines that are passed out on Patreon for pennies on the dollar. In Blast from the Past news, apparently there was a secret lesbian love affair between Jerry Spice and Scary Spice, and that's why Jerry left the Spice Girls, and that makes sense. That makes sense. Because I'm sorry, I wouldn't have walked away from that kind of money. But in more disappointing news, in truly disappointing news, T.I. is set to make his televised stand-up comedy debut in a Comic View reboot produced by Little Lord Short Lord Kevin Fart. The only thing funny about T.I. is his height and his misuse of vocabulary. I mean, can't nobody misuse or mispronounce a word like him except for Tisha Scott of Love and Merge. I mean, the good thing is Comic View will be back, so we'll get some actual talent. But then again, Kevin Hart is at the helm, so I don't know. Meek Mill shouts free Tory Lanez at Rolling Loud, Portugal. Don't your mouth get dry from always saying something stupid? I know mine gets dry from talking about your stupidity, I can tell you that. Now, Meek Mill, I know you have been dumped by black woman after black woman after black woman. But why do you want Tory Lanez free for shooting one? Why? Nobody was thinking about you, which for you is good because you've had a couple of wins, but nobody takes a L like Meek Mill because you take your L's loud and public. You know what? Maybe we need to call Drake to embarrass you on wax again. Do you remember? I remember when Drake outwaxed you, outsold you, and embarrassed you in 2 diss tracks. I don't even think you ever came out with a response. You've always been the bitter, ugly little brother of rap, and I suggest you get therapy for it. But saying free Tory ain't the way. Will Smith pokes fun at his son Jaden for not having kids yet, but why is it funny that he doesn't have a dysfunctional family at the same age you did? That he's not going through a divorce when you were going through a divorce and marrying your husband Jada, who then cuckolded you for 20-something years. Maybe he doesn't want that kind of a marriage. Maybe he wants a marriage of equals. Maybe he doesn't want a wife that will sleep with his son's friends, because that's how she met August, is when Jaden brought him around. So I could see him not running to have children with parents like y'all. I mean, he hasn't had a public meltdown. He hasn't attacked anyone in public. He hasn't risked a felony either. So no, he doesn't have children or your violent outbursts and tendencies, because you was whooping butt back in the day. There are many accounts of you beating people up in your youth. So he's not doing that either. He is only 25. He ain't got time for no babies. Mama D's car was involved in a hit and run. Thank goodness the Queen is okay. But I think it was the BAM. I think the BAM got somebody to swipe her car. That seems like an Atlanta stunt. And just like crap, Sarah Jessica Parker is frustrated that Kim Cattrall has stolen the show with her $1 million cameo. No, that didn't steal the show. The show was given away because it's crap, garbage, fecal matter. There's more use for urine than these past 3-4 episodes. I mean, it has been agony. It's comedy without the laughs. It's drama without the emotion. We're just going through the motions, and you're just collecting a check. This is ending with a whimper and not a bang. Well, other than the banging we're seeing Cynthia Nixon and Shay doing, but I don't need to look at that lesbian love. I'll look at lesbian love, just not that lesbian love. It doesn't seem authentic. I've seen porn with more feeling. But yeah, everybody's waiting to see Kim Cattrall for 2 seconds because she'll at least deliver her lines with oomph rather than your, oh, okay. It is time for Sarah Jessica to hang Carrie Bradshaw's Manolos up. Put that crap in the back of the closet. Andrea Bocelli, a world-famous singer. I think he was one of the 3 tenors or something. I don't know. I just know the man can sing. He sang at Kim Kardashian's wedding, and then he sang at Kourtney's wedding. And Kim told Kourtney, you stole my wedding singer. How many world-famous singers are going to perform at your tired little nuptials? Child, he said, look, I'm flattered that both of you love my voice, and I'm always happy to sing for you. But there's a younger artist, Matteo Bocelli. Hire him. Hire him. He said, look, I'm going to promote my son. That's a father. That's a father right there. He said, I'm going to promote my son during this. While we got all the eyes, let me go on and give this to the next generation. In this moment, I actually understood why white people started giving their kids odd names. So Taylor Swift brings out her ex, Taylor Lautner, at the Eras Tour. Cool, you know. But Taylor Lautner is married to another woman whose name is Taylor. Yes, Taylor Lautner married a woman named Taylor after dating Taylor Swift. Well, I think there was somebody else up in there. I feel like Taylor Lautner has a good movie in him. He's famous for Twilight, but I think he'll give us a good movie one day. I don't know if it's 2 days, but one day. But I see why they started naming their kids Apple and Dog Cart. I mean, otherwise it's gonna be Taylor, 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 Taylor. So, I mean, how many Taylors and Brittany, Jesus. Dad of 7, Neo, compared to Nick Cannon. Why would you want to be compared to a deadbeat? Why would you want to be compared to a compulsive reproducer? That's not a father, that's a compulsive reproducer. He just got sperm and said, well, I'm going to use it. And then putting them women through childbirth, giving them kids your heads, that should be cruel and unusual punishment. If you tried to get me pregnant, I'd beat you for it. Beat you right in that big head. I mean, are you going to have a hat fund for these kids if they come out with your cranium? And then every girlfriend you get after she drops some kids for you, you want to sterilize her. I'd shut up if I were you. You're a reproductive abuser. Cary Grant's daughter slams speculation the icon was gay. She said she never saw a hint of that. Well, honey, your pappy ain't gonna let you see him tooting his booty. There's a whole bunch of bisexual men out there that are married, been married, have kids. Child, please. You know very little of life. You know what they say, if he's a man's man, he probably is. Now, I am truly confused. Kevin Costner and his soon-to-be ex-wife have been going back and forth. She wanted $250 a month for spousal and child support. He only wanted to pay $52,000. The judge ordered $129,000. The judge said, okay, I'm gonna just, go up from you and go down from you. When you are a man of that kind of means and you already had an $80 million divorce back in the 90s, you know what pussy cost. You already know. What did Big Frida say? You already know. So I don't know why there wasn't an account or trust already where okay, this is going to be about $200,000 a month. Here you go. You already know. Ain't that why you doing Yellowstone? You got to be making $1 million an episode for that. Everybody watching it. I've even peeped at it on TikTok. I want to see why Beth got blown up. Ooh, great news. So Martha's Vineyard is coming back, but in even better news, Silas is going on deployment, so we won't have to look at him. I'm sure he'll be fine. He'll officer. There's a whole bunch of places you can go overseas that ain't dangerous. He could be in Hawaii, Guam, so let's hope it's one of them. But I'm just so glad I ain't got to look at him. And he'll be making extra money while he over there, but we won't have to look at him. Oh, he was such an awful part of this season, and oh God, but now this gives Jasmine a plot line, her finding her single self again. Ugh. But yeah, she ain't leaving him with them benefits. She gonna hang on, because when she divorces him, she gets half of his retirement, that good federal money. And in This Is Why You Don't Marry Someone from a Rich Family Without Their Own Money news, Armie Hammer to pay ex-Elizabeth Chambers only $1,500 a month in child support. And that's because Armie Hammer's family is rich. Armie ain't. He draws from a trust, which means it is not his money, and I don't even think they can consider that income in court. Ooh, and apparently Armie's mother loaned Chambers $300,000 to start her bakery business and is now freed from any obligation to pay it back. O.J. Simpson heart drama. Doctors insert stent into Simpson's heart during life or death surgery as it's revealed he cheated death. I don't know if he cheated death. He already gave death to people. Maybe more we just don't know about. So I'm not sure. He might have handed Death a little punch card. Death said, oh, you're good. You're good. You got a free one. Oh, that was horrible. But not as horrible as killing your ex-wife. In more legal news, Casanova is looking to have his 15-year federal sentence reduced after having denounced his affiliation to a notorious street gang. But I didn't know jail was like a throne and you could just abdicate. I renounce M613. I renounce. Now let me go home. I renounced. Girl, clink, clink. And finally, Faith Evans and Stevie J have settled their long-standing divorce battle. There's supposedly $1 million in alimony or an alimony settlement that Faith has to pay to Stevie. Now, we've all seen Stevie's penis, and it's long, but is Stevie J's dick worth $100,000 an inch? Because basically that's what you paid. You paid $100,000 an inch. Because y'all was only together for a year. So that was like a little less than $100,000 a month and maybe a little more than $100,000 an inch. I don't know. That math to me just ain't math. I mean, I just would have, enjoyed him on the weekend. He's a weekend boyfriend. He's a vacation boyfriend. You could enjoy him for maybe 3 days in Aruba, a long weekend in the Bahamas, maybe even take him to Aspen for a minute. But marrying that, and now you lost $1 million. And you ain't even make that with Hollywood divas, so I don't know what Faith gonna do. I mean, she got Biggie money. But I know Biggie is doing the Harlem Shake in his grave, watching Faith get her pockets run from above. Oh, Marc Daly is reeling his ugly head because of Marlo Amos and her warrant ankle. She was kicking on that door like the po-po with the warrant, and now Marc is threatening Kenya, saying he didn't want Brooklyn around any Housewives of Atlanta arguments, and I can't blame him. I mean, that is his child, and she should not be dealing with a Marlo Amos, summer more. And I know Kenya is going to light her ass up at the reunion. I mean, Kenya's going to get into Mama Bear anger, but this is also what happens when you divorce your donor. Also, though, why was Brooklyn there? Why was Brooklyn there? See, I'm tired of you using Brooklyn as an excuse. Everybody else got kids. Everybody else leaves their kids home. This is why everybody leaves their kids home, Kenya. This is why everybody leaves their kids home. You tried to use Brooklyn as a shield. So, I've got to go back to the room. I don't have a village. Girl, you can afford a nanny. Where's Aunt Lori and that cousin? Or did you piss them off too? But this is why you don't bring your kids to work, because you don't know when adults gonna act adult. Did Marlo know that Brooklyn was in the room? I mean, you're on a work trip. I'm not gonna be thinking that your child is in the room. Now, if it was your house, it would be one thing. But we're all at a hotel on I wouldn't even call that a trip. I'd call that an errand. But I feel like Brooklyn should have been at home. You run to the door, you're scaring Brooklyn. Why is Brooklyn around on a work trip? Kenya, you open yourself up for this, but this will definitely make the reunion interesting. But yeah, I wouldn't bring my kid to a boys' weekend or a girls' weekend. A mommy weekend, yes. Well, those were today's top stories from this bottom, so I'm going to see you soon for something.
Alleged what? Alleged who? Allegedly, allegedly. Don't blame, don't sue. Allegedly, allegedly, allegedly.